Thank you, Mr. Speaker. In 1963, President Kennedy, who served in this chamber, spoke at American University about preventing nuclear war, and that to do so is necessary to deal with our most feared and distrusted enemy of the time, the Soviet Union, as mistrusted and evil in the eyes of Americans then as Iran is today. As you recall, Prime Minister Khrushchev stated, "We will bury you." President Kennedy understood, though, that in negotiations with an enemy, quote, "we must avert those confrontations which bring an adversary to a choice of either a humiliating retreat or nuclear war." President Obama, along with the other 5 nations at the negotiating table in Vienna, confronted the same reality. When President Reagan engaged in détente with the Soviet Union, he also was negotiating with our most feared and distrusted enemy. In negotiations with Iran, it has been the same for President Obama as it was for President Kennedy in negotiating with the Soviet Union. And both President Kennedy and President Obama had the same goals as America's had for over a half a century, and that is to prevent nuclear war. And to do so, it has been necessary to deal with an untrusted foe. I have listened to my constituents. I've been privy to many classified briefings. I've spoken personally to President Obama and Secretary Kerry, met with officials in Vienna at the headquarters of the IAEA, and with diplomats and officials from Europe and Asia, and considered the opinions of renowned physicists and military generals. And over those past several weeks and months, I've often thought about President Kennedy's eloquent words at American University in August of '63, when he said that in the final analysis, we all inhabit this same small planet, we all breathe the same air, we all cherish our children's future, and we are all mortal. The same holds true today. I support this agreement based upon the information I've gleaned from the aforementioned individuals and groups, and with the understanding there's no more important mission than preventing nuclear war. Our people and our planet are in the balance. I'm convinced this is the most effective way to ensure Iran will not build a nuclear weapon. Thank you, Mr. Speaker, and I yield back the balance of my time.